break or throw it away. Every moment's one more chance to stand up or get in the way. So when I go, I want the world to know I won't bend, break or throw it away. Every moment's one more chance to stand up or get in the way. So when I go, I want the world to know I was alive. I was alive. I want the world to know I was alive. I was alive. I want the world to know.
Hello and welcome to Infineon in Napa Valley, California, site to race number 9 of the NRSL Reebok Truck Series season number 4, marking the quarter-way mark of the season, and joining me once again is Stephen Pod III.
Hi guys, I'm still on the damn West Coast.
Hey, at least it's not Canada.
This is true. Them damn Canadians.
You know what? Front row today is Tom Shelley and Preston Plord. Alexander Rowe and Dylan Young make up row number 2. Sam Young and Kyle Matthews row 3. Matthews coming off just his second career top 5 finish in Reebok Truck Series history last week. Last week. Feels like it's been last season. Let's see, that was row 3. Elijah Gilbert, Johnny Gardner in row 4. And Kev Shear and Zachary Fitzwater make up row number 5. Here's the rest of the starting grid as I hand it over to Steven.
I expect the last time I was in Infineon we had a brawl. I don't think we're going to have.
Yeah, one of your own cousins was in that one.
Well, yes. This race I'm going to see maybe, I forgot who already won the poll. Who won the poll
Preston
again?
Plord.
I think Plord's going to have a good chance to win. Usually the pollster has good luck here at Infineon. Look out for the 09 who's won 2 road course races and hasn't pulled a...
Out of two. We've only run 2 of them.
She's won 2 out of 2. Not pulled a Tristan Wilhoit and finished in the back in all the road courses this year. So I'm looking at him as a dark horse, and I expect a lot of chaos. And maybe we'll see a fight on pit rope this race. Who knows?
Well, again, because of road course and no cautions, we will not have onboard cameras.
We couldn't afford him this week, just like in most sports.
It's just we don't have the time to really go to them. That's the thing. Command has been given. The points coming in. John Irvin was able to maintain his point lead by a single point over Elijah Gilbert, as Vince Almarego in the 66 has problems.
And it looks like, oh God. Oh,
and I think also John Irvin in the 13 also had issues.
Well, it looks like some teams couldn't afford an engine either.
Well, Irvin is sitting on the pit lane. I don't see the... Where's the 66? Oh, there's the 66. Okay. So apparently it was just John Irvin.
It looks like Jess is... I don't know what's
well,
on here.
She's trying to catch up. She was kind of caught up already. That's where the issue was there.
Worth mentioning, Irvin starting in the 39th position. It's going to be hard to hold his points lead as here we go into the first chicanes.
Yep. Green flag already out. Didn't even get to finish the points battle. There's 1 point over Elijah Gilbert. Kev Shear is 3rd, 45 back. Amanda Shelley is 73 back in 4th. And Joshua Hyatt, 2-time winner of the season, is 75 back in 5th. As Tom Shelley goes to the lead already. Preston Plord didn't even lead to turn 3.
I bet you Tom Shelley wishes he had that car in his 45.
Probably. As Preston now back to 3rd row, trying to get that spot away from him. Rest of the top 10 was Preston Plord, Chris Louvier, Dylan Young, Tom Shelley, and Cole Deaver.
Get ready for the sandstorm.
Yep, which is going to be started by Dylan Young first off.
Yeah, that's going to be a really hard corner with the old Infineon layout. It's going to be tough to hold speed with these new truck engines.
Take a look at the back. John Irvin has gone on track, and somehow we've survived lap 1 to this point.
I was expecting chaos.
As I think there is... I was going to say, it looked like there was damage to the 40 as Zach Flickinger gets the bumper laid to his number 9 truck.
Yeah, he's going to have to go to gunbroker.com to fix that one.
Darn pace truck there. Zorline trying to get 17th away from Chris Wilson. Looks like he will do so. And worth mentioning that Yeah. Jack James, their 13, did not lose a lap, so there's some good news in there. Just way far back.
Well, if a lot of guys were actually had the shot, just like who just did after the 21 car at Mosport.
Yeah, true. Although it wasn't actually just I think that you're probably thinking of, as I see the closest battle through the S's is going to be Elijah Gilbert and Johnny Gardner.
Whoa, Gardner goes a little too off.
Although actually keeps on course there.
He was sideways, really bad.
It doesn't matter how sideways you are there, right? As
Right,
obviously Plord went wide because Alexander Rowe putting the bumper to the 24 truck through turn 11.
It's a battle of the. It's gonna be a battle of Tom Shelley versus Alex Rowe, the D&Q guys now.
You say that Alexander Rowe's only D&Q'd twice.
Well, it's very unusual to see the Miller Lite car in the D&Q race.
Yes, it is. I will agree to that. As looking through, still clean back here.
John
Amazed.
Irvin hasn't picked up that far of spots. I think he's up to third, 29th, it looks like.
31st, so you're close.
Flickinger's still trying to pass cars. Man, that 9 car is all over the damn place.
Yes, Meadowscon back here as well, as Flickinger continues to fall back, and now Max Anderson is going to move to driver's right of John Irvin. So Irvin actually losing a spot there to the 92, as we've had a spin. It's the 7.
7 goes around everybody. Matt,
There was another truck slow. It was Delon Abrahamian and Bafode Sacco going through the grass there in the 31.
And everybody go, well, there goes the sandstorm.
So it begins.
It's, you know what, like DW said, it's pandemonium.
A little bit of damage to the 20's nose, I believe.
Well, it looks like right here, everybody's on nose to tail bum draft in here. Whoa, that's not going to happen.
3 wide. Hello.
Yeah, I guess we jinxed RJ.
Yeah, I think we did, because RJ Reynolds has a little bit of a buckle to the nose of the 09 truck. It's very hard to see, but if you know where you're looking, you can kind of see it on the right side of the hood.
As Pollard, Jess, Reynolds, and I think that's the one.
That is the 01 right there, Stephen Pollard third. You have the 40 of Louvier.
Oh, that's an interest. That's a 4-car interesting mix.
As somehow Zach Flickinger's in all of this.
Hey man, if Zach Flickinger had 110 laps, he might win this son of a gun.
Maybe. As truck is off, it's Trevor Germain, the 06. Hello.
Whoa!
That was close.
One of drivers is doing donuts in the garage. I guess he gets away with it because he knows the series owners.
Well, I mean, that's an underfunded truck anyway, right? So.
I think they were celebrating the qualifying in the top 15 on lap 4 of the race.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably what it was, right? Battling now with Joshua Osborne. Was running 11th at the time, but that is now put him back into the 30s for that spin.
You know, like I mentioned with Robbie Gordon's two-car team in most, I'm more amazed that Jennifer Jo Cobb has a 2-car team in this truck series.
As Jessica Shelton is on pit lane now, the 84 truck. So she's run into issues somewhere on track.
No comment. Oh, the 20 car's got a lot of damage.
Yeah, I noticed that when we saw him the last time, as Tim Randolph goes into the grass.
Randolph blew up, it looks like. Nope, he's going to come on.
He's going to continue, just went off course. So regroup a little bit, lose about 3 or 4 spots or so.
Looks like this is going to be the troubles.
Ooh!
Almost took out Pollard there.
Steve Pollard and William Brock, there was almost your fight.
Yeah, I know. Steve Pollard, one of the hottest drivers in the truck in the Cup Series, is not really running too strong today.
Sam Young, Johnny Gardner there, the 6 and the 2 truck, battle for 5th.
Well, something we haven't mentioned, Florida has caught the 97 car. It looks like on the intervals.
He's closing in a little bit. The gap actually was closer the last time that we saw it.
Well, now it's closer.
Yeah, now it is.
Here we go.
So Shelley was able to lead the first 6 laps, but now Preston Plord's starting to catch him a little bit. And Alexander Rowe starting to close in on the leaders as well. Blue Oval Racing finally showing some muscle around a track somewhere.
Maybe they got their Xbox controller and they're wheeling it around.
Oh, that might be it. You never know. Alexander Rowe comes into this race 40th in the points. And thing is, his Blue Oval Racing teammate, 28th. So,
Well, on the bright side, Ford is leading the points.
what?
Oh wait, is the 88 the Ford or
88's a Toyota.
Well, you know what? That's another mulligan.
The highest Ford in the points is Dylan Young in 8th.
You know what? I'm thinking of 2017, the Thor Sport Racing, but you know that's my fault.
Yeah, that would definitely be what you're thinking of, even though I don't have any 2018 trucks for this mod.
I don't think a 2018 truck will ever be paid for this mod.
Not unless we set Johnny out to do it.
Johnny, if you're watching this video, you know what you have to do now.
Well, yeah, he'd also have to paint trucks for 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, so good luck with that.
I wonder how much Johnny loved us.
I don't know. It's Kev Shear and Seth Cole with contact.
They're wiggling, they're waggling.
And Seth Cole's still wiggling because he had William Brock in the vicinity there.
He was
as Steve Pollard finds a curb.
Well, I think Kev just wanted to stake him since Seth was not going to allow it to happen.
And William Brock goes wide. Now Tim Randolph going to stick the nose in there into turn 7.
What color is that 18 car?
Cocoa cream or something? I don't know.
That's
Cocoa-ish
like
color?
That's a really weird color.
I don't know. It's got Cocoa Via as the sponsor, so some sort of like cocoa color or something. I don't know. Either way, it goes wide now as Steve Pollard has found a guardrail somewhere.
Well, you know what? Steve Pollard has got enough talent to overcome that guardrail.
Yeah, we'll see how much speed he ends up actually having by the end of this. We'll see.
Well, we got Norm Bennington, and with Norm Bennington's truck, anything is possible.
Only at Eldora.
Touche.
Which we don't go to in this series.
Well, not yet anyways. We still got to convince the officials.
Ebrahimian has actually been passed by Jack James now.
I think the 32 might have hit it.
I would imagine so. That's about the only way you could really be behind the 13 at this point. You know, one saving grace for the 13, I will say this. One saving grace that the 13 had was the fact that because of where they grid, he didn't have to be towed around the whole track.
Yeah, which was very lucky as Steve Paul not going to go to attack Brock right here.
Yep. And Brock's going to make that move pretty easily, I believe.
Not really. Steve Paul, he does got a lot of damage. I didn't realize that quarter panel was buckled in.
Oh, but hanging in there. And speaking of hanging in there, so too was R.J. Reynolds with Stephen Paul III.
Yeah, some people got to get off the dirt here. Everybody's windshields are covered in dirt.
And pit stops on lap 8.
This is going to be the make or break to the race because your fresh tires, like I said, mean everything for that one.
No one of the leaders actually pit. The top running was Dylan Young, who was in 5th.
So, whoever wins the race, we're going to go down and try the California wine, right, Charles?
We might sample a little bit over the course of this weekend at some point.
Yes, we'll go wine chase. We'll go to Charles's house too, since we are in California.
We're about 10 hours away from that, actually.
Okay, never mind. We only go visit Charles' house when we go to Ottawa.
Or Ontario, which is actually only like 3 hours. So
And
4
Josh
tires for Dylan Young. And that looks to be about the call up and down the pit lane there.
What happened to Joshua Tree?
That was a one and done thing, and I also lost that track. So.
Oh, well, I probably could find it.
Oh well, I think that was crazy enough to not go back to. Plus, actually, it didn't even get sponsored the one time we went there. So.
It could be the Kevin's triggered again 500.
Well, looks like everyone else is pitting this time around, so we have half the field on lap 8 and half the field on lap 9 as Cement Ozcon has found a wall. somewhere.
Well, let's see if everybody stays out.
And Dylan Young actually beat Jack James out of the pits. So.
Well, the 75 dropped like a rock, but that's expected with that much damage. I mean, the 57 car.
Yeah, 57's back here with John Irvin.
Oh, Pollard and Irvin, a little bit of contact right there.
Well, we're going to have to see where the 57 cycles out of this. You can see that they did take some time to actually fix the damage, though.
Well, John Irvin's having a hard time against the Pollards right here.
Yeah, he's in a Pollard sandwich and a Norm Benning sandwich at that.
You know, I love how, it looks really beautiful because all that 75 truck is literally the 57.
Oh!
No!
He turned it.
Well, John Irving is not going to get invited to the holiday table.
Look at the damage to the right side that did to the 57.
I think the 57, the one crew member is going to have a word with the 88.
Holy moly, that's a lot of damage. You actually see dents in the truck.
I think the 57 team...
As Shelley was up on the hill.
Shelley is wrecked. The 88 and the 57 are going to have words after the race.
And Tom Shelley is in the lead over Alexander Rowe. And Preston Plord is nowhere to be found.
What happened to Preston Plord? Did he spin?
So we're going to be doing a field rundown when they get back to the line here, as we do anytime there's pit stops. But right now, Preston Plord clearly a big loser out of the pit stop cycle.
Gee whiz.
As right now only Binky Louvier and Jessica Shelton are out of this race.
Well, Binky found the end of the road.
So Tom Shelley is leading, Alexander Rowe is second, Johnny Gardner to third through the pit stops. Sam Young is fourth, and I think I can see where Preston's now. Dylan Young fifth, yep, Preston Plord sixth, and I think I know what the problem was. Pit stall number 1 is not an advantage here at Infineon. Joshua Hyatt is 7th, Zachary Fitzwater 8th, Chris Wilson 9th, Kyle Matthews in 10th. I can't recall when the last time he actually had back-to-back top 10s was in this series, if that ever happened. Alex Perkle runs 11th, Seth Cole, William Brock, Tim Randolph, Chris Louvier, Stephen Paul III, Sky Commons, Joshua Osborne, Zach Flickinger, and Trevor Germain, the top 20. James Qualls, RJ Reynolds, Jonathan Zorline, Elijah Gilbert, Amanda Shelley, John Irvin, Kev Shear, Card Pollard, Semedos, Con Bafot Sackos, the top 30, I think. Sabrina Rogers, Cole Deaver, Steve Pollard, Vince Amarego, Faith Rollins, James Shelley, Alger Baranowskis, Max Anderson, Jack James, and Delon Ebrahimian, the lead lap cars.
Well, looks like the time was catching the 9-7 with Shelley, but now falling a little bit behind.
Yep, right now this looks to be the best battle on track. It's Sam Young, Johnny Gardner. Sam Young looking to driver's right, trying to get to the back bumper.
I think the 2 is on a 1 lap older tires, pulling up Sam Young right there just a little bit.
Believe you're right. I don't remember who pit what lap. Although we'll look through here, we'll see if Tom Shelley feels any pressure from Alexander Rowe here coming through the S's.
Oh, this one. Well, somebody went off.
Someone goes off every lap. What are you talking about?
Well, usually the leader would not see a dust storm like this when they catch him.
Well, there's trucks almost all the way around the track now when you have Ebrahimian and Jack James where they're at.
Here comes a 5 of Watt, Chris Wilson going down the inside.
Yep. And also Joshua Hyatt making a move on Preston Plord for 6th.
Nice move right there. Just good move by the rookie right there. Not coming up and getting sideswiped and putting the wall there.
But Plord able to fight back because of the inside line. Both of those drivers actually went wide off of the end of the S's, so that didn't help Hyatt's case at all. And Wilson not quite able to get there on the back bumper of Fitzwater. But I think Wilson looks to also have the faster car between these two.
Yep. As this is getting pretty good.
Yep. I mean, they're exciting battles to watch. It's just not as easy to commentate it. That's the only bad part. As we
Not as
are
bad.
under 5 laps to go now here at Infineon.
Not as bad as Edmund.
As Chris Wilson going to go wide. Kyle Matthews going to try and have an open door here. This is his former ride as well.
I think Kyle Matthews is just sitting there like, please do not break. Oh, no!
Oh, he almost turned his former ride!
God, my God, almost that was a big
Alex Perkle now going around the outside of Matthews.
Wow, that's a good move.
Tried to, but he didn't quite get there. And meanwhile,
Wow,
Dylan
right
Young going to grab 4th away from his own brother there, Sam Young.
It's going to be an interesting Thanksgiving dinner.
Well, it looked like a clean pass at least. As Alexander Rose starting to get a little bit closer once again to the 97 of Tom Shelley.
But I can guarantee you one thing. John Irving is not getting a Christmas card from Card Pollard.
Speaking of which, John Irvin's actually gained some spots here. Either that or Gilbert's lost some. They came in only separated by a point, and right now it would be only 6 points separating them on the racetrack.
The real question is, what the hell happened to Kev Shear? He's fallen from 9th to 27th.
Yeah. That too.
And we got a battle here. The 10's trying to go down the inside. 97 blocks. Here we go. Here comes Rowe.
Alexander Rowe to the driver's right into the hairpin, turn 11.
Let's see if they got the
Not quite clear though.
Nope, 97 Tom Shelley's going to have to run.
Oh! He tried to block. He tried to shut that door. But up the hill, it's going to be Alexander Rowe to the lead. And that might be all she wrote.
Now, for anybody who says the ratings are not equal, the 40th place guy in points just took the lead.
And Joshua Hyatt tried to make another move on Preston Plord unsuccessfully.
I think that's our first lead change in one of the top 3 series in a while.
William Brock goes wide. Let's see if that'll open the door for Tim Randolph there in the 68 truck. Not quite. And I think we will have to watch this battle on track to see if Kyle tries to put the bumper into his former truck.
Which will be entertaining.
Well, think about this. Chris Wilson did something in one race that Kyle Matthews couldn't do in the whole season in that truck, and that was finishing in the top 5. Literally Daytona. Chris Wilson put it in the top 5.
Well, this could get interesting here. This could get hairy.
Yeah, and Fitzwater's there too, which makes it hard for Hyatt to try and make a move.
We got a big old train going on here. Looks like the 24 is holding up the back of this field.
2 laps to go for Alexander Rowe at the front of the field. He's already gapped Tom Shelley by a full second.
That Ted truck was just waiting in the wings right there.
Right now, this is the closest battle on track in terms of like the highest running battle on track. So far, no new retirees, so just still those same 2. It's Chris Wilson trying to put the pressure to Fitzwater here, trying to relieve some of the pressure that he's got from behind in the 52 truck.
Yep.
Preston Plord starting to kind of gap the 11 truck a little bit as well.
Well, and this, I think, should help Rowe and Shelley to make the Cup race because they're going to have valuable laps running around here.
He says, even though the Cup qualifying would have already been uploaded the day prior.
Well, you know what? Another mulligan.
This is what happens when things are recorded out of order.
This is true. This is when you will start losing your mind. It's pandemonium.
As Chris Wilson to the back bumper of Fitzwater with Matthews all over the back bumper of his truck as Alexander Rowe has started the final lap.
I think Kyle Matthews just wants to bring it home.
I mean, this would be back-to-back top 10s for the first time in who knows how long for Kyle Matthews in this series.
Even in the Cup Series.
Oh no, just in this series in general, because last season he only had 2 top 10s for the whole year. He's already got 2 top 10s this season in 8 races. He's looking to make it 3.
Well, as long as he doesn't dump the 5 and crashes, he'd be good.
As long as he doesn't pull a Jimmy Johnson, yeah. Although Alex Perkel's kind of right there as well. We're gonna.
Alexander Rowe.
Yep,
He
he
gets
survived. So.
And he gets sponsored by Xbox and Miller Lite. What a life!
So through the final turn here, turn 11. That is all that stands between Alexander Rowe and a victory. Off of turn 11, and it will be Alexander Rowe who gets his first career win in the Reebok Truck Series. He wins at Infineon.
Tom Shelley second. Let's see any battling for third.
Oh, they got closer. Wow.
The 6th fell back to 5th. We're about to see a drag race on the drag strip and on the track.
RJ Reynolds can't make it 3 for 3 as John Irvin passed Elijah Gilbert.
They're still going to lose the points lead.
Well,
oh wait, the 16th and 25th?
Well, yeah, he passed the 16.
Well, it looked in where did the 7?
7 is back here.
Well, let's see. The 11 car behind it might take the points lead.
So, Joshua Hyatt was 75 points back at the start, as Sabrina Rogers somehow fell to 40th.
I think she spun.
I'm willing to bet that is the case, or ran terribly wide, or had to make a second pit stop.
I'm gonna say what's the name? Hyatt's gonna be the points leader.
That's very well possible. So Alexander Rowe is your winner. Tom Shelley, Johnny Gardner, Dylan Young, Sam Young, Preston Plore, Joshua Hyatt, Zachary Fitzwater, Chris Wilson, and Kyle Matthews, the top 10 today. We do have some wrecks to look at, though. The 2 retirees, and then just some other ones that we can remember happening throughout the race.
Yep.
And here's what happened to Jessica Shelton to end her race. Going down into turn 3, gets a little bit sideways, and Stephen Paul III comes along and makes contact with the left rear and sends the 84 sideways in a very unusual spot for a wreck.
And you've been banned from the server. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Well, that would be like a couple weeks after this one goes up, so you got like 2 weeks. You're good.
Yeah, I'll be hiding.
And here's an incident that we did not see, but this was Jonathan Zorline going down into turn 7.
He overcooked it.
Actually just going to make contact with the 77 on pit exit, or on the exit of the corner, and that's where James Qualls gets his damage.
Nice avoidance by Paul there. Peanut.com.
Also Shelton going to the grass though as well. Gonna have a few instances probably with Shelley to look at, but first off is going to be what happened to the 69 truck. Binky was running 37th when Faith Rollins caught up to her coming into turn number 10, and this happened.
Can you say Faith determined this wreck? Oh, God.
Wow.
Man, he's going to need a new pacifier for that one.
I think you're realizing now that... Holy shit!
We just got Charles Swing, and somehow the caution is out.
As Max Anderson, that was a very interesting wreck avoidance. No, what I was going to say was, I think you're now realizing that Steve Pollard got off pretty easily.
No, he didn't.
On his wreck, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So here's what happened to James Shelley here to send him off the track and up the hill.
I didn't know Brian Vickers was in this. Oh, I'm sorry, Tom Germain.
And Trevor Germain just kind of coming out of the pits leisurely. Shelley runs right into the back of him.
And the points leader would have been the points leader, got taken out by somebody too, Gilbert.
Elijah Gilbert ran into Kyle Matthews.
And that's surprising didn't take Matthews out.
Actually got off pretty well for that one, though, too, because he didn't really hit the wall that hard.
God.
That's just Shelly. We documented that Delon Abrahamian was behind Jack James at a point. Well, here's part of the reason why. Going down into turn 7s, making the peak to driver's right of Jonathan Zorline, and just panics on exit, loses the back end, slides into the dirt, and then kind of gets stuck.
Lap on, and then starts doing some Well, there we go. Reverse.
Before Sack goes around, there's Binky Louvier turned, Max Anderson, Vince Almarego in there.
To the right now, y'all. To the left now, y'all.
Anderson's saved because he's actually on the
Take
track.
it back all now, y'all.
Just going to play this out for you. Because what's probably going to happen here is I've known this track well enough now. I think what's going to happen here is he's probably going to get teleported to pit lane.
To the back, to the rear now.
Actually, he got out of it. Well, there's Jack James. So he gets out of that just fine.
Luckily, he didn't go into that small fencing area.
Yeah, true.
I think that was all the extras.
Well, we had the 06 go off in there somehow, too. So we'll show that.
I think we got that one on camera.
And that will wrap it up here for this round of the Reebok Truck Series. Handing it over to Steven for his final thoughts here.
It was a good race. Alexander L, good win. Hopefully it relates to good stuff in the Cup Series. We had a lot of passing. It's one of the best road courses. And John Irving and the Polwards had a very interesting conversation after the race. And I'll see you guys next week. We'll finally be out of the damn West Coast.
Well, at least in Hooters.
Where are we going in the Truck Series?
I don't know where we're going in trucks, but I do know for a fact that it's going to be some variety of a super speedway, most likely, because I'm pretty sure Pocono is classified as a super speedway for the classifications.
I think we're going to Coca-Cola.
That sounds about right, and I have no clue where that track's based.
Coca-Cola's in Massachusetts, so I finally don't have to spend so much money to get out of here, for God's sakes.
Fair enough. So there's a look at the bottom half of the grid. We did check Sabrina Rogers and Amanda Shelley. They both fell back because they had to make a second pit stop. With that, congrats to Alexander Rowe on his first career Reebok Truck Series win. I'd like to thank Steven for joining me. Leave a like if you enjoyed the race. Subscribe if you haven't today for more racing action and gaming related videos. With that, I'm going for 291, and I'll see you next time.
See ya.